One, my mic sound nice. Check one. My mic sound nice. Check two. What's up? What's up? What's up? Let's get these numbers up, man. What's on numbers, Lady T? We're gonna get this update going. Let's get these numbers up. Let's get these numbers up. Thank you for being a friend. Travel the world and back again. Look, real quick, and before we get any more visitors in, hit that like button, share, subscribe. But I'm gonna say this: when it comes to transcripts, nobody from the Dream Team shouldn't be supporting nothing the Warriors do, or nothing anybody that supports her do. If y'all want to get transcripts for yourself, go to Diva and get the transcripts. Do not support the Warriors. We ain't dealing with scam artists. We are done. And we had enough of that. And I mean that. That's just where I'm at with it. She still owe Miss Lady T $125, and she's not trying to give Miss Lady T her money back. No. And we don't support people who have outstanding balances. No, we ain't doing it. Just to give an update for court today. And Sheila, and you know who the Warriors is. Just to give y'all a thing about what happened in court today, as far as with me, once again, my phone died, so I really don't know. But I guess they awarded Ronald, not Sylvia, they awarded Ronald the victory, or they ruled in his favor because my phone died and I wasn't there. But I will be appealing it when I get back home. Okay? So I'm gonna keep y'all updated on the appeal. And when I do it, it is. Jason Finch, come on, man, chill. But I know what I'm doing. It is what it is. Second thing, and we're gonna continue ignoring all the slow people. You feel me? And we're gonna continue ignoring all the slow people. I can get messy, and I can tell what some more stuff that happened in mediation. I really could, but it ain't worth my time. So let's get away from that. Federal New York Court, August 25th, 2021. Let's get into it. Morning court. We all went in the overflow court. Wasn't nobody in the courtroom that Robert and them was in except for the lawyers, the prosecutors, the jurors, excuse me, and the people that they had coming up to testify. Okay. We about to go there, y'all. We got a lot of pages to go through. A lot of pages. So let's go there. I titled it Azrael Notes. I'm going to say this. Every parent fights for their kid, right? No matter they good, bad, or indifferent. But I didn't know that it was this bad with them. I didn't know. I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was this bad. So let's go there. Azrael friend, she was in court with her in support of Azrael. Okay? So let's go there. Azrael was asked if she and her parents were in communication and where her parents, what? Oh, And was her parents, she said, oh, okay. She was asked if her and her parents were in communication and was she talking to her parents. She said no 3 times. Then they went to recess. Prosecutors prepped Azriel. Then they came back out from recess, and Azriel said yes to the same question. This was the closing conversation from yesterday. You know, this was the closing conversation from yesterday, and Azriel throws the federal government under the bus today. Okay, let's go there. And what I mean by she threw the federal government under the bus, she pretty much said that the federal government wrote her story and made her story after she gave them only key points. Only key points. So, it was asked today about Kim Jones and Susan Logan's, about them testifying. Kim Jones told him flat out, she not coming. So, Ann Donnelly was talking about they need to prepare a signing warrant for Kim Jones. Susan Loggins is in Florida with her aging mama. Fernella objects to Kim Jones being on video call. Judge Donnelly, she was trying to get the defense to allow Kim Jones to appear by video calling about the blue shirt, about the shirt. Okay. The government says the short, what? Okay. The government said one of their short mistakes in count 1. Defense opposed. Okay, the government was trying to get the shirt to be a matter. That's what it was. The defense opposed. So I take it that this shirt was the shirt from Geronda. Okay. So just to let y'all know, Robert looked good in court. Robert had on a beige shirt and an all-black suit. I ain't gonna lie, but that suit looked velour. But that joint looked fire. I like that joint. The joint was tough. All right. Azriel had on, a black coat, a black blazer with a burgundy dress. All right. Cross-examined by Kenneth. I'm going to tell y'all now. For all of y'all, and for all of y'all that's not at the court, if you ever have to go to court and be cross-examined by Kenneth, one thing y'all don't want is for him to cross-examine y'all. Okay, here you go. The first thing he asks, Azriel, have you spoke to the government? He asked her that yesterday. She told him, oh yeah. I talked to him earlier. And I talked to him and she started giving the dates and stuff. Yo, I got 55 likes, man. Come on, can I get at least like 50 more likes? So she started giving the dates of when she talked to the government. And she talked to the government for like 7 hours. So they was prepping her. All right. So this morning, Candace said, have you spoke to the government lately? Azriel said, no, I have not. 2. Angelo and Azriel, y'all got to bear with me. Y'all know I can't write, but I'm writing, Angelo and Azriel shopped a book deal off of Robert. Azriel was asked about the book deal. She kept acting like she didn't know what Kanick was talking about. So, Kanick said, have you shopped for a book deal? And at first Azriel was like, no. So Kanick said, who's Stacey Brown? And then Azriel was like, oh, but I know who Stacey Brown is. And then Kanick said, who's your manager? And Azriel went silent. So in my notes, right? Canning asks, who's Stacey Brown? Azriel was like, oh, okay, but I know who you know. I know what it is. And Canning said, was you working with her for the book deal? Azriel went silent. So Canning said, what's your agent name? And she said, so I put shaking my head. She don't know. And Canning said the agent name Sherelle or Chanel, something like that. And she was like, yeah, but that's the agent name. And then Canning broke down the year date of 2019 of when she was talking to this agent, but Azriel really didn't remember, or she was playing like she didn't remember. Thank y'all for the like so far. So then from that point, Canning shows items to Azriel to help her remember her book deal, right? So once Canning showed the items, and she was like, okay, I remember this, I remember that, I remember this. So then Canning said, before February the 5th, 2020, do you recall anything about the book? Azriel said she don't recall any drafts for the book. So Canning broke that down and showed her how she had drafts coming to her and she was looking at it. So then another document was shown with the attachment. And then Canning asks, does it even come back? Hold on. Does it come back now that she started focusing on the drafts and stuff? So Azriel was like, and she went to the selective amnesia again, like, no, I don't know about the drafts and this and this and this and this. So then it go to the point where Az was saying in the little notes that she wrote to Robert, Az was saying that Alice sent her to take pictures. Now listen to this, y'all. Alice sent her to take pictures. So that way they can exploit Robert. After a whole time, Azriel stopped in lieu of betraying Robert's trust. And she was saying that she didn't want to do it no more because Robert. But in a letter, it was pretty much saying that her parents sent her to blackmail Robert so that way they can get money and stuff like that. And then when Azriel told Robert what was really going on and told Robert her real age, Robert sent her back home the very next day. But that's what she said. After that, Azriel got a little, emotional and uptight. So Canning said, Azriel, read this that's on the screen and read it slow. We wasn't ready, y'all. We wasn't ready. And it went like this. Pops, you didn't tell mommy how you called Robert and talked for hours with Robert. Everything was fine and dandy. You told him things, he told you things. They found out. Then look, you called Robert and y'all talked for hours. And that's where her words were. Everything was jolly. But I thought Angelo said that he'd ever called Robert and talked to Robert like that. So then from that point, she said, you joined up with the Savages. They found the other exes. And they start running down on the exes. Then she said, you made calls that all of you, okay. You made chances that all of you could have been in my, you took chances, but all of you could have been in my life. I will not delete my life. And this is Azriel talking. I will not delete my life just so I can be happy with Robert. Y'all are aging. That man loves me and I love him. Robert is my man. And y'all doing all these things as well as interviews and other things to extort Robert. And it hurts me, but none of you care. The next one that she went to was, none of this should have been made public. Y'all working with the savages for money, but I can't see my other family because of you. The next one was, Mom, when I was 17, you would take me to Robert. No, you would take me to get pics for Robert just to blackmail him. I went along with it until you people. Listen, I went along with it until you people did what y'all did. Like dropping me off at 3 a.m. in the morning with him. Nothing was said. Nothing was said at all. I apologize for this part that I'm about to say. Alice, allegedly now, Alice told Robert, "You're fucking my daughter. Send me $10,000 to this account by this day and 10,000 every other time." Actually, it was 20,000. But at this time, Azriel said 10,000. The next thing she said was, y'all told lies to my other family, which made it awkward and for me to see anybody. I thank y'all for the likes and thank y'all for being here. And then she said, I thought about it. Yes, I thought about what you said. So I have to delete my whole email. I have you and I love you. And I heard the amusement out of your voice. But I just want you to know I've been loving you for years, and thank you for this. Let's go ahead. The next one she said was, she went on and on from Robert for 24 hours. She went on and left away from Robert for 24 hours. Azriel didn't want to answer none of the questions. The argument to Fox and everybody else, all she said was she went home. Next letter. I'm not ready. I don't want this kind of relationship. So she said, I'm not ready. I don't want this type of relationship. I want it to be over. I don't like the abuse. That's what Az supposed to have said. The next document she said was, it was some screenshots from her Snapchat account. And that's going to be redacted. So that's not going to be in the transcript because that's going to be redacted. And that one said, baby, I ain't never been held against my will. And that's the letter that she sent to Hollywood Next off of Snapchat. Hold on. Hold Hold on, y'all. I gotta send this over. Hold on. Hold on. Send this last thing to you. Here we go. Hold on. All right. So she said, hold on, what was that? Oh, next item screenshot. Baby, I ain't never been held against my will. And that's when I guess Hollywood Next, shout out to Hollywood Next, because she was holding it down. She's a trooper. I pray that she got back home safe. And Hollywood Next is a great person. Great person. She very cool, down to earth. And I guess Hollywood Next was telling her, but that, you know, it seemed like that she was saying that she was held against her will. And she's like, baby, I ain't never been held against her will. And they brought that up in court today. Then she said she sent her mom a text saying everybody is having fun. And then it was another document. Okay. After she said everybody's having fun, but they had another document, right? And like I told y'all, Angelo and Alice emancipated their daughter. But I thought they knew Valerie Payton. And in court, that's not what I'm saying. In court, Azriel said plain and simple, they gave guardianship to Valerie Payton of Az after Rob sent her home. Angelo and Alice sent her back to Rob and signed a whole nother letter. And on top of that, they went and took her out of court out of school in Florida and sent everything to Rob, and Rob paid for her homeschooling and everything. So that's where the graduation pictures and stuff come from. So like I told y'all, when you sign over guardianship, that's emancipation. When you sign over guardianship and send it over, that's emancipation. But the catch to this for me was they didn't even know who they were signing it over to because they never met Valerie Payton. They never talked to Valerie Payton. They never seen Valerie Payton. So why would you emancipate your child if you never seen a person, but you're supposed to be emancipating your child too? Make that make sense. Okay. Now, then that went to the tour bus. You know, when she said that she was trapped in a tour bus, well, that's what we found out today. The tour bus was and the tour bus had different compartments for safety measures. You know, the door, but as she said, but she had to knock on. No. The way it was was like a hallway, and it was like a little bed area, but the tour bus had like a little kitchenette and some stuff in it. And when people have hot foods, but they got to open that door. So instead of opening and hitting somebody, you knock on the door and to make sure there's nobody there so that way you won't hit nobody. And see how they tell half the story and then run with all the other lies? Okay, the next one. If Robert was so abusive, right? If Robert was so abusive and he wasn't a great man, we also learned that Robert opened the doors for everybody and closed them back for everybody. Also, Robert played the piano for the ladies while they ate dinner. Azriel got personal and said, no, he only did it for me. Okay. But if he played the piano for you every time you ate dinner, if you having lobster spreads on top of the piano and all this, where did he find time and to be abusive at? That's my question. Next, Azriel lied and said Robert put her on a pedestal. She said that she was never jealous of none of the other females, and she never thought that she was number one. On top of that, she didn't care if she was number one. But we all seen something different play out, right? And then she said, yes, I was not in slavery, and I was not number one. And then we found out that Robert, now check this out, for allowance, Robert gave her $5,000 a month in her Chase account. He also paid for her all of her Lyft and Uber bills. I'm going to back it up and say it again. Robert paid her $5,000 a month. Also, Robert paid for all of her Lyft and Uber bills. But y'all labeled him as a monster. I'm still trying to figure out how is that possible. How is that possible? How is he a monster? Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe buttons. How is he a monster? Also, if you want to patronize his channel, hit the super chat at the bottom of the screen. Or if you can't do that, then hit the Cash App official DanaJay. But he gave them, not just Azriel, but everybody, $5,000 a month. He put it in her Chase account. And he paid for her Lyft and Uber bills. But me being messy, I put, oh, she's held against her will. How was you held against your will? How was anybody held against your will? Y'all can come and go. Azriel was seeking a job, y'all, that paid $28 an hour. That's what she needed, a job that paid $28 an hour. But check this out. She ain't never had a job before. She ain't never had no skills. And then when Kanik and everybody was hitting her up, asking her questions, Azriel lied and said she don't remember none of that. She don't remember none of that. Then she said, Robert don't celebrate holidays. So since Robert don't celebrate holidays, Kanik asked her, what about the shoes? What about the Jordans? What about the, and he said it just like this, what about the big ass new iPad? Wasn't that a Christmas gift? And she said, yeah. So he said, so how don't he celebrate Christmas? Robert's face, he had the mask on. Robert said, and he did like this. He was like, the next thing, trips to the beach. So she said she found the beach. That's where that picture come from, with her holding his neck like that. That was a legit picture. But the picture, when they was like in the little bathroom thing, that was a Photoshop picture. And when they put it up on the screen, you could see the person was cut out to authenticate it. And they determined that that was a fake picture. So at the beach, Azriel found the beach that she wanted to go to, and Robert immediately took her at her request. The picture with them two together, Joy took that picture, and I put next pic, but it was the pic that was them in a bathroom. That was a fake picture. Next exhibit of as was the handwriting letters, and that was put into evidence. So on a transcript, y'all will see that. And this right here say lengthy letters. Then I put government scared and stops momentum to speak with judge and defense counsel. Because Kanik was busting her tail. And they stopped to speak to the defense counsel and the judge. What did it say? About a long letter. Okay. 1. Had to take my time. What? I don't know what I wrote right there. Okay. Here it is. Had to take some time for me so that way I can make up my mind and what I want to do. Number 2 of that letter, and these are just the key points. Number 2 of that letter, came to Florida for a brother, for her trust. It should be, hold on. It should be respected. Mom and Pop lured Robert into blackmail. Okay. Mom and Pop lured me to blackmail Robert and do all the sugar honey iced tea, the shit they doing now. My friendship and love runs deep for him. Robert showed me nothing but love and respect. Alice sent Azriel to sleep with Robert, and she wanted Azriel to get pictures of him sexually, just so she can blackmail him. And then she said, Robert wasn't even coming on to me. Azriel said this. Robert was not even coming on to me. So she felt crazy. And this was after Az lied about her age. When the police came, Alice and Angelo told Az to go to Robert's room. Their plan folded. And Alice and Angelo had to take some time to regroup. That time, Azriel wanted to have sex with Robert. So that whole time, she's like, yo, I want to have sex with you. But Robert paused all of that. He paused all of that. And the police was called again by Alice and Angelo. Robert never pursued Azriel in a sexual manner. Azriel saying this. Robert never pursued me in a sexual manner. When Az told Robert the truth, he sent her back home, and Az called crying every day. And Rob told Az that if she wanted to be around him, your parents have to come too, and or a letter have to be sent showing the truth and showing that you are able to travel and you are of age. The Clarys didn't hesitate. That came out today. The Clarys ain't hesitate. They unenrolled Azriel and emancipated her to Robert Kelly. And then they went to Florida. They got the notary seal and they withdrew her out of the Florida schools and sent her back to Robert. Let's see. The Clarys got back to Robert. They tried to. Also the Clarys tried to have so many businesses ventures with Robert. Azriel said they showed up to a concert with dildos, and they pulled out dildos singing a song, and they pulled out a contract. They said that Robert took the contract but never signed it, and he only took the contract out of respect for Azriel. So, Alice continued to threaten Azriel for money. That's what Azriel's saying. Every time Azriel would tell her mama for that her and Robert ain't sleep with each other, Alice would get mad. And this what came out. Y'all. Robert didn't sleep with Azriel until the middle time span of her being 18. That's what came out. Now watch how this go. So pretty much they teamed up with the Savages, and they reached out to R. Kelly past relationships and past managers and promised book deals, etc., and everything else that came with it. Azriel was completely nervous by this time. She was crying on the stand when she came out and said, "I was completely happy." Hold on. Hey. Hey, what's up? Nothing, but I'm live. Let me call you. Let me call you as soon as I get off. Okay, cool. At this time, Az was completely happy with Robert, and that's it. That's all she was saying. I was completely happy at that point. So they had multiple wellness checks in Atlanta and Chicago. They even had the marshals come to their house in Chicago. Azriel start crying again. So 2 years for nothing. This is what I put. 2 years for nothing. This is bullcrap. Because when they asked for the tapes, there still was no tapes today. Only text messages and only picture messages. No tapes. They was in love with Robert, and Angelo and Larry got in Azriel head. That's all I can say. Okay. So the federal government cross-examined Azriel. When the federal government got up there, Azriel turned around and said, "Everything that you just heard that she said about Robert was a lie." She said Robert made her write that and say that. When she said that, Robert said, that's all he did. So Azriel told him that she was 18 and they can go ahead and proceed in private court. Number 2 was this. Name endowment. Okay. Now number 2 was she had the name and endowment as twice when mom and dad would allow her to be around. So then from that point, and there's a lot of notes. Number 3, the letters. Family never, Azriel said, family never seen them letters. The ones I just told you about. And then she didn't even call him Robert. And she didn't even call him R. Kelly. She said the defendant and other girlfriends made her write them letters. Rob made her write the letters. While other people okay, Rob made her write the letters. Rob other girlfriends made her write the letters. Also, them letters can protect Robert for a day like this. At this point, the judge overruled 4 times. Then we go to number 4, which is shaming exhibit. So they asked her, do you recognize statements that Rob made her write, allegedly? And then Azriel said, handwritten and typewritten letters Rob made me write. But those letters had some of the same content. So with that being said, I got a question. Did Rob make you write that? She said she fabricated all the letters. Azriel said she fabricated all the letters. Then she said, Robert, I warned you, but you just wanted to be friends. Robert, I warned you, but you just wanted to be friends. This one of them letters. I know you don't want to have sex with me, but bring me that dick. I'll tell everyone you fucked me as a minor and tied me down and fucked me even more, even though we know you didn't do it. Just fuck me once. That's what Azriel has said. Another letter was, Robert, in case you caught me, I've done some bogus things. I spanked myself very hard because I lied on you, etc. Azriel also took pics of bruises, allegedly. But I didn't see no pictures with the bruises on it. So I have to call that cap. She sent herself pics to her own email. Now here's where it get crazy at. He had Juice go through her iPhone. Juice told Rob on her. And Rob took her phone, allegedly, and she never seen that phone again. Allegedly. I got a question. If Rob is sending me $5,000 a month and paying for all of my Uber and Lyft bills, you know how many phones I have? Make that make sense. Azriel said, at first, the first time she called him daddy was when she was 17. At 19, she switched it to Papa Bear. In 2017, In 2017, what happened to something? Okay, at 2017, Rob allegedly got an American Airlines flying pass for travel marked April the 29th, 2015. Trip to Los Angeles. That ain't make sense, but I was like, okay. That's what Azriel said. Trip to Los Angeles when Robert gave Azriel the rules of what goes on around him. Allegedly. And then they said he had sex with Azriel. This is what Azriel said. He had sex with her, and what made that moment so special is that he wouldn't make Juice leave the room. So you know what that means? Maybe they had all one big happy party. Then she said, Az lied about allowing. Hold on. What? Az lied about. Oh, Az lied about wanting to be a singer. She said she really didn't want to be a singer like that. Az provided pictures to show Rob is not a bad person, though, to the federal government. This got me lost. Why would you provide pictures that he's not a bad person, but then you sit up here and make all these lies on him? The government leading Azriel into answers. Thank God Cannon caught that and said something about it. And Ann Donnelly told them, you cannot lead the questions to the answer that y'all want from her. You just got to ask the question and let it be. Don't lead questions. She turned around and said, Juice and Neek was never, their personal life was never to be, their personal life was never to be discussed. And I can agree with that. Don't discuss nobody's personal life. Don't do that. Az lied about a job. And Rob. Wow. Wow. Cannon was asking, have you worked anywhere before? She said, no, I never worked anywhere before. And then here's the catcher. Az said that Rob told her and Joy, y'all know the drill. You can't work around nobody. No job, I meant. And you can't work no job that have men working there. And Az was like, he didn't want no men around us. Okay. So, 2015 came. 2015. Okay. In 2015, Rob carved the initials into a table in Atlanta, Georgia. And they went to the big house. Hmm. 21. What? They use... Oh, but they use passcode. But they use passcode to hurt Robert. Okay. 22. So now Az putting everything on Robert when the government recrossed her. So when the government was asking questions, everything it was Robert's fault, Robert's fault, Robert's fault, the friend's fault, Juice's fault, this person's fault, Boo-Boo fault. Everybody except for her and her family. So 22, Azriel never reviewed the report. That's a key thing. She made a statement with the federal government, and she never reviewed the statements or the reports by the federal government and by Homeland Security. What else happened? She said Robert exposed her to the STD world. She talked about nephew. She talked about eating feces. And then she said, and then I put Robert is shaking his head. Hell no. Azriel said that she have herpes, but nobody have her medical record, so nobody don't know. This is the redirect by Cannon. First questions. Azriel purged herself on the first question. And the question was on the letter written to Rob. She purged herself on that one. B, Azriel seeking a book deal. Once she met with the federal government, that's when her and Angelo start seeking a book deal. And that's what it says. That's what I wrote. Azriel seeking new book deal after sparring with government officials with a meeting with Stacey Brown. Yep, excuse me. C. Azriel purged herself again with false statements, and she lied about the letter to her brother. Wow. As replied with, I don't remember, or statement was incorrect. So when they asked her about the letter to her brother, and she said, I don't remember. And then she said, or the statement is incorrect. But she never corrected the statement. So here's my question. If you don't remember, or if your statement is incorrect, right? If you don't remember, or if the statement is incorrect, how can you only correct certain parts of that statement? D. Azriel throws the government under the bus again. And she said she don't recall making them statements that the federal government is putting out. Which means, and then that's when Kanik said, well, Azriel, if you don't remember, that means the government is lying. And then he turned around and said, do you know the severity of lying to a government official? Do you know what could happen? And so then he said, either the government or you was lying. And then Kanik went on and say, Azriel, can you tell me who was in the room when you made your statement? Azriel said they all were. Everybody was sitting there. The government got quiet. And then, yeah, they all had a meeting with Ann Donnelly. And then they came back. Azriel said she don't recall what comes out of her mouth, saying Robert made her say things and write things to protect him. Wrong things at that. Az said the letter was not true. None of the letters that she sent were ever true. But then she said the government made up a lot of them letters. How? And then F, it said the government is stunned in court. Then that's when I left to go have court and with Sylvia, and I was on the phone for like an hour and a half before my phone died, before they met with, Sylvia and everything. But Keith Williams. I'm sorry. Keith Williams testified. Now, for the people that's trying to run with it and say they talking about Keith's best friend, no, they're not. That is not the Keith they talking about. So stop. But Keith Williams turned out to be a government witness and testified today. Michael Williams testified that he recommended the pastor to R. Kelly that married Aaliyah. But I'm lost because Johnny said there was only 3 people there. And I don't remember Keith Williams being part of that. From that point, Azriel, friend from Florida, took the stand about text messages about R. Kelly, and Azriel told her friend in a text message, girl, I got a show coming up, but I think he nutted in me. Also, Veronica Jackson took the stand about the blue shirt. Veronica Jackson is a forensics tech, and she tested the t-shirt. I think that's the blue shirt for Geronda. She did find semen on the shirt, but didn't state about any DNA of who the DNA belonged to. So that can be anybody's semen. That don't mean it's Robert's. So the cross-examination of the friend went like this. Was R. Kelly present? She said no. Have you ever met R. Kelly? She said no. She said, do you know Juice? She said no. She said, who is Juice? And then a friend said, somebody who R. Kelly be with from time to time. But she stumbled on her words at that point. And it didn't go nice from that point. It went completely silent. They showed her a photo, identified as Azriel's pulled photo from iPhone. Azriel wanted her friend to keep the photos just in case she needed them for a day like today. That's what it said. For a later date. That's what it actually said. For a later date. Az called her friend either late at night or early in the morning. Her friend is forced to testify because her friend said she didn't want to be there. After like 4 questions and a bunch of dragging out and all that, Judge Donnelly suggested, can we just move on and call your other witness? So Ann Donnelly shut down the interrogation of Azriel's friend because Azriel's friend really ain't know what the hell she's talking about. Okay. Cross-exam. This is of Thomas Arnold. The text message she got. Oh, I'm sorry. This is still about the friend. The text message she got. The friend was saying the text messages that she got, meaning when Azriel texted her, she really ain't know what was going on about the messages. So that's all about the friend. And they read a text from her from 3:14 p.m. from Azriel's phone. The catcher was the friend didn't remember the text, nor did she remember the date or the time that came in. So then we go to witness Tom Arnold, aka Thomas Arnold. I told you I was a lot, yo. I told you I was a lot. And it went like this. Did he do anything in the studio? In which studio did you oversee? Tom Arnold said, no, he didn't do nothing in the studio. And I overseen Chicago Track Studio. 865 Larrabee, September 1998. That's when he was there working as an intern. He said he do odd jobs. He worked for the Chicago. What? Oh, he worked for the Chicago execs at the Chicago Track Studio, where he was a studio manager. He also worked at the chocolate factory from March 2003 to 2008. He left for a little bit, came back May 2008 to October 2011. Chocolate factory moved from 865 Larrabee out to Olympia Fields. Also, Thomas Arnold served briefly as a road manager. And he transported all of Rob's friends to and fro. But they asked him, who would you tell if you had to pick somebody up? or if someone wants to leave. He said that he will have to tell Robert or someone close to him, so that way he can get okay to do either one. So we get to the personal guest. He said, for personal guests of Robert, who would you say would be Robert's close friends that you would get messages from to do things for? They said Donnie Lyles, June Brown, and John Levy. That's what he said. John Levy, June Brown, and Donnie Lyles. Okay. So he said, when you was driving, female guests, what would you do? He said, I would turn the rear view mirror up and I would adjust my side mirrors. And they asked him, why would you turn the rear view mirrors up? He said, just to avoid conversation. So he said, who gave you instructions on how to operate around Mr. Kelly? And they said, the runners that came before him. So the runners that came before him, they gave him the instructions on how things went. Which clearly shows that Mr. Kelly ain't know hardly none of that or what was going on. Also, when guests arrived, what would you do? They said he would have to inform Mr. Kelly, as well as friends, that the guest has arrived. And he would take the guests to wherever he was told to take them to. So if it was like a different place at the studio, that's what he had to do. Wherever Rob was recording at, or wherever, if Rob told him to come there, that's what he had to do. Also, we learned that there were confidentiality agreements in place. Not in the beginning, though. Not in the beginning. But eventually, over time, there were confidentiality agreements in place. That rule, once again, was not in place in the beginning. But it turned out to be in place after Rob was going through some things. Also, if you came to the studio or if you came to Robert's house, he always asked for driver's license and Polaroid film. Polaroid film wasn't asked for at first. The driver's license was always asked for. Then they went to Polaroid film. So that way they know who you are and they can match your license with who you are. No communication with the guests. I can understand that. Because if you're working for me, I don't want you mingling with my guests. My business is my business. What I got going on is what I got going on. When a guest call, how would you answer? They pretty much said when a guest call, I will make sure that Mr. Kelly get the messages and we handle it accordingly. So they asked him, what did you get for the guests? He said, I got him food. I got him whatever Mr. Kelly asked me to get him. So that take care of that. And what else was after that? Let's see. Oh, but the government was showing him pictures and he was identifying Chicago Track Studio and different places like that. And not one time did we see a bucket, a mop, a piss cup, a boo-boo cup. We ain't see none of that. Not one time. And we sat through about 45 minutes full of videos. I meant not videos, full of pictures. They showed a little bit of the Chocolate Factory pictures. And they showed Studio Tracks pictures mostly. And once again, it was no bucket, no nothing. And the studio was clean as a whistle. So with that being said, that's all the update for today. That's all the update for the day. And I'm going to say this. For the little Wile E. Coyote, the big swollen Wile E. Coyote that's talking about they got a win today, a technicality is not a win. My phone died. But if that's what you want to celebrate, keep celebrating because it's not over. I'm going to rain on your parade very soon. At the end of the day, I will go here. And I said I wasn't going to say nothing about it. But for the warriors to put people in harm's way after she out here starting these fires is just crazy. Because she ain't have nothing to say when Glenda and them was on her tail. She actually ran. Coming back from lunch, Janet asked her, Sylvia, why is you starting this stuff? Why you got people coming after certain people? Sylvia was like, I don't know what you talking about, and ran back in the building. Just like she called herself cussing me out today and all that. But I don't worry about none of that. I'm going to say this and I'm going to say it again. Dream Team, if you participate in anything that Sylvia's done, stay over there. We don't participate with snakes. She holding private Zoom, taking people money, and then talking about God told me to read. Man, look, that lady is the devil. God ain't telling her a goddamn thing. If y'all want the transcripts over here, I will get with Diva and I will get them and we will have it read over here. I will not do a private Zoom. I will not do a private Zoom at all. It will be strictly about us. And I'm putting it out there. People are tired of being lied to and bamboozled, and that stuff is crazy. She was not in the courtroom today. She was outside. She took pictures of me and everybody else, and I told her not to take pictures of me, so now it's on. I'm going to put it out there. Because, see, I could have took pictures of her nipple pants that she had on today. I never seen no female pants to stop right up under your breastplate. And they weren't connected to no suspenders or nothing. And her stomach came out about 6 blocks long. So, just know, I'm going to return the favor. Just know that. I don't agree with all the beefing and stuff that's going on. But when you got people that's around here starting stuff and then running behind people because they scared, they out there in the line shaking and scared and then hopping on the phone. Nah, man. But that stuff ain't cool. That's not cool. Not that at all. That's not cool. That's not cool. And I mean, and on top of that, she had some doo-doo brown nipple pants. I mean, they were doo-doo. They were like the doo-doo brown with the white color and all that. Man, nobody got time for that, man. Nobody got time for that. So while she out there ripping people off and taking people money, we gonna stay the course. We gonna stay the course. Because I don't agree with none of that. I'm not scamming for Robert. I'm not scamming in Robert's name. Robert wouldn't want it. None of that. And she's charging people $50 a page just for a transcript. Nah, nah, nah. I don't know why y'all call her Sly Fox. I'm just over it. I'm over it. So I just had to put that out there because I'm gonna see her. I'm gonna see her in a couple hours. So I just got to put that out there because some stuff just need to stop. Plain and simple. Some stuff need to stop. People are getting too old and for all that, and you know what I mean. And she's like 60 years old, carrying on like that. So y'all be blessed. That's the update for today. I will be back tomorrow after court with another update. I will go live at lunchtime. All right. So y'all have a good night, man. Enjoy yourself. Love on your kids. Continue praying for Robert. Let's look at this. I hope we get a clean what is it? A clean sweep. Okay? All right. DanaJay out. Love every last one of y'all. If y'all want to hit the Cash App, y'all know it. Official. DanaJay, $ in front of that. Or at the bottom, hit the super chat. Other than that, we gone. Peace.